If I could trap the feeling of ugly in one sharp, honest sentence, it would be this. It's not that people don't see you. It's that they see a version of you you don't recognize. And that mismatch makes you want to disappear. Growing up feeling invisible while also painfully visible is a strange kind of loneliness. You stand in a room, and every laugh, every sideways glance, every small silence becomes evidence that you are somehow wrong. You learn to read a room like it's a weather map, where storms are brewing, where you might be tolerated, and where you risk being laughed at. That constant weather checking eats patience, joy, and permission to be yourself. When someone calls themselves the ugly girl, they usually mean more than looks. They mean the one who isn't chosen first, the one who gets the joke, the one who hides. That label becomes shorthand for 1,000 small rejections, being the friend who's always convenient, never central, being the person let down at the last minute, being the one who never hears the words, "You look great." Over time, those small slights stack into a belief so heavy it reshapes your choices, who you date, how you speak up, what risks you take. But here's a secret I want you to hold on to. The mind is a very efficient liar. It sees one small truth, a joke at your expense, a missed invitation, and builds an entire worldview on it. You turn a few moments of rejection into a rule. I am unlovable, or I am unworthy. Those rules are sticky because they feel familiar. Our brains prefer the known pain over unknown possibility. So instead of risking a new kind of hurt, asking someone out, showing up at a party, saying something real, we stick with the old hurt that at least we can predict. Acceptance is not surrender, it's tactical. It is saying, okay, today I see this thought, I feel ugly. I won't fight it tooth and nail because battling it gives it energy. I will accept its presence and then choose one small action anyway. Acceptance lets you stop wrestling with an identity and start experimenting with behavior. And experimentation is how you shift who you are, not all at once, but one manageable, often boring step at a time. So, let's get practical. Start with one micro-commitment, an activity you like that has nothing to do with looks. It could be learning 2 chords on a guitar, taking a weekly short walk with a podcast, or joining an evening class that interests you. The point isn't mastery. The point is to build a life that makes you say without irony, I have interests. Confidence grows when your identity stretches beyond a single dimension, especially one as cruelly public as appearance. Next, practice exposure in minutes. If big social events trigger avoidance, break the event into minutes. Commit to showing up for 10 minutes, stay for 10, leave on your terms. 10 minutes is enough to notice that the worst-case scenario rarely arrives, and it's short enough your brain won't mount a mutiny. Repeat. You're not trying to rewrite your whole social life in a day, you're proving to yourself you can survive and even find a sliver of ease in the places you feared. When it comes to friendships, stop keeping mental ledgers. Constantly calculating who owes what is exhausting, and honestly, it's how unequal friendships calcify. Real friends don't scorekeep, they show up. If your group treats you like an afterthought, test reality. Say yes to one invitation, then say no to the next one without guilt. See who notices and who consistently invests. Your most loyal people will appear. Your safe life can be small, but it can be honest. Dating is where many of these old beliefs scream the loudest. If you feel invisible on dating apps or in the real world, don't try to outwork the pain by doing all the chasing. Instead, design a mutuality filter. That means you only invest time when the other person meets a basic threshold of reciprocity. They respond thoughtfully, suggest plans, or show up. Mutuality is not a luxury, it's a sanity-preserving boundary that protects you from pouring yourself into a hole. Intimacy, emotional and physical, can feel like a minefield when you've been taught to be ashamed of your body or your face. Vulnerability can terrify anyone, but especially someone carrying years of being unseen. Start with small reveals. Tell a date about something real, but not catastrophic. A movie that made you cry, a small embarrassing childhood memory, why you almost dropped out of a class once. These are the building blocks of trust. People bond over small, honest things long before they bond over big ones. Comparison is a thief. When you spend your energy measuring yourself against others, you surrender your narrative. Social media, mirror, colleague, old schoolmate, they can all become measuring sticks that never tip in your favor. Instead, set a curfew for comparison. Fewer minutes a day, fewer apps, and more attention to your own inches of progress. Celebrate small wins that have nothing to do with appearance. You reached out to someone new this week, you read a whole book, you laughed wholeheartedly. Those add up faster than you'd think. There's a painful paradox. You often try to fix feeling ugly by outsourcing worth through achievements, humor, sex, grades, or being indispensable, but those are brittle foundations. Real worth is grown in spheres where you have agency and choice. That's why hobbies, volunteer work, or creative projects matter. They create evidence of competence that isn't measured by looks. Over time, you'll notice you're proud of things your reflection never touched. Language matters. The words you use in the mirror are a rehearsal for the world. Replace "I'm ugly" with "I feel ugly in this moment." That tiny shift adds context and temporality. It gives space for change. Use precise sentences. "I felt left out today" when they laughed at my joke, instead of a global, cemented verdict. Specific sentences are easier to respond to and to test with reality. Therapy, coaching, or guided support speeds things up, but is not mandatory. If you can access a professional, great. If not, find structured spaces, a book on cognitive behavioral techniques, a moderated meetup, or a course that gives small homework you can do. The key is structure, predictable, repeatable actions that slowly rewire what feels familiar. Finally, be an ally to your future self. The woman who wakes up 6 months from now after doing the small work, attending that class, keeping that minute at the party, saying no to unfair dating dynamics, deserves your loyalty today. Act like you already believe she's worth saving. That means small mercies. Forgive yourself for slip-ups, stop the internal monologue of name-calling, and treat your needs with the same seriousness you'd give a good friend. You are not a mistake in the story of life. You are an in-process person, made of attempts, scars, and brave little experiments. Feeling ugly as a woman is a real pain, but it is also a signal that asks for different input, kinder practices, and small, deliberate actions. Start where you are. Choose one micro-commitment right now. Make one tiny plan you can keep in the next 24 hours. Then another tomorrow. That steady drip of small choices is how landscapes change. If you listen this far, hold this. Your value is not a function of anyone else's glance. It is something you build quietly with the life you live. Show up for yourself the way you wish someone had shown up for you. In time, the world will begin to notice, not because you polished a surface, but because you stopped hiding the inside.